This is the Throttle Out Show, presented by Vixen Industries, the only show where monster truck drivers and mechanics come together to present what's happening in the monster truck community. It's the ultimate combination of torque, horsepower, and trash talk. And now for your hosts. First, straight out of the heart of Detroit Rock City, it's Kid Rock's neighbor and former driver of the BKT ride truck. It's Austin Spence. And the duo deep in the heart of Texas, it's the show owner and daughter of a man who conquered the industry for over 20 years. It's Harley Johnson, along with everyone's favorite Bryce Kenny lookalike, Austin Tweedy. So go ahead, fuel up, strap in, and remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
Well, good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday.
Sorry, it's just us two tonight. Tweety couldn't make it. He's in Illinois right now with his family.
He decided that college football was more important than monster trucks. Can you believe the gauze on this guy?
Especially on a Sunday night. We got
so
much to talk about tonight, and he's not here for it.
Exactly. But in all seriousness, Tweety's actually out there supporting his brother. Harley helped me out. There's so many damn kids in that family. Cameron Tweety. Okay. Cameron Tweety is out there playing college ball. And being a big brother, going out there supporting him, just doing what, Tweety does best. But I got to say, Harley, Cameron looks like he could whoop Tweety Austin's ass a little bit.
Today. Looks like Cameron could kick his butt a little bit. Sorry, honey, you're watching.
Yeah, well, he's fine. He's got a decent sense of humor.
I know he's listening, so
yeah. I'm surprised he's not in the comments just yet. But
waiting for him to pop up.
But no fear, we do have an extra set of hands to be able to help us out with tonight, and it is probably one of the OGs when it comes to the mini monster truck scene, Mr. Colton Kiser, an American Scout. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're out here in the shop. I think it's the perfect setting. You can see the big orange turd right behind me. And, we're going to have a great stream.
Orange turd, man, that is a dent side Ford. That is a dent side Ford. That is the prime. That is the best type of pickup truck you can put out there. And you're calling it a turd? What's wrong with you, man?
Well, it looks, I think from here it looks pretty good. But, well, it'll look a lot better here probably come about springtime when we got it on the road. It's been sitting in this corner since like winter of 2018, and we just decided we're just gonna take all the axles out from underneath of it, and we're gonna do some stuff to it, cradle it, 4-link it, top load.
According to Nick Davis, it's the prime polished turd.
Yep,
is that right?
Oh man, you need to put some seats in the back there, man. Start charging people in your small town.
Right, exactly.
Well, Spence, what would you like to go over first tonight?
I say we rip off the damn Band-Aid and we get it over with, the whole arena stuff. So where do you want to start first with that?
I guess we can go over the show that happened not too far away from you. Right?
I guess, yeah, we can go there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up old Instagram here. Monster Jam Daily has all the results posted. So we're gonna go by him at the Van Andel Arena. So we're gonna start with event number 1, October 8th. I'm not sure. Do you guys hear some popping noise going on in the back? I don't know if it's my audio.
I do too. I don't know if it's my phone or not.
That's strange. I'm trying to I don't know if it's from me talking or if it's or what's going on. So maybe it'll go away. Bear with us.
Near their mic. That's almost what it sounds like.
Someone's mic has. Yeah, my wife just messaged me. It's like someone's mic has feedback. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. Anyway, we'll just hopefully it goes away. Bear with us. So anyway, back to what we're talking about. Monster Jam results in Grand Rapids at the Van Andel Arena, October 8th. So they had timed racing, believe it or not. No Chicago style is timed racing. Time racing winner goes to Mr. Tristan England and Megalodon. And then skills challenge goes to Tristan England, Megalodon.
Nice.
Donut competition goes to Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger. Freestyle goes to Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger. And overall, no surprise.
Goes to Kristen Anderson and
goes to Gravedigger. Yep. Exactly. So no surprise there. Then we go on to event number 2 on the 9th. Timed racing winner goes to Elvis and Mohawk Warrior. Skills winner goes to Elvis. Donut goes to Elvis. Harley, who wins freestyle?
Is it Elvis?
It was Elvis. So it only makes sense that Elvis won the overall for event number 2 in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the arena show. Hey, no disrespect or anything, but honestly, he was killing it, doing a great job. So, I mean, hats off to him for sweeping an entire arena show. No sweat on his brow for that. Oh, my phone decided to glitch. Okay, where's event number 3? Okay, cool. So there is only... apparently there's an event
was mismarked, maybe. Event 3 was maybe supposed to be where it says 4.
Yeah, so I think it might be so October 10th, event number 3. Elvis wins racing, Elvis wins skills, Elvis wins freestyle, Elvis wins overall again. So again, sweeps a whole nother show.
Elvis, man, he's a I mean, I know he's been in it for a year or two or a couple of years, but I mean, he's one of the underdogs, and I think it's good on him for coming out and kicking butt.
Yeah, no kidding. So I believe that should be it. So I believe there's just videos posted from event number 3. Monster Jam Daily is in the comments. What's up, man? Appreciate everything that you do. Event 3 was Elvis Racing, Tristan Skills, Kristen Freestyle, and Elvis Overall. So 3 overalls for Elvis in Grand Rapids.
It was really between Elvis, Tristan, and Kristen the whole weekend. Just one of those 3 was going to take a trophy this weekend.
What was the 4th company truck then? So you had Mohawk, you had Shark, and then you had Gravedigger. So what was the other company truck that apparently didn't win anything this weekend?
It was Kayla Blood in Soldier.
Really? No kidding.
Oh.
Huh.
Maybe her truck was having issues this weekend, maybe.
It could have been, because honestly, it seems like everybody was having issues this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to do a little experiment here. Did that sound go away?
Yep.
Well, Colton, that's your audio that's making me
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, Austin, I tell you what, send the link to this to the American Scout page. That might help it, because it's weird, because if I'm talking, I'm not hearing it.
We don't hear it either when you're talking.
When you're talking, it goes away, and then when you're not talking, that's
so strange.
Weird.
Shoot the link for this to the American Scout page, and we'll see if it works. I don't know. I know how finicky electronics can be. Let me.
You have headphones. Maybe it's the headphones that would take away.
I had my phone resting on my high quality, high production, custom phone jig.
Stand.
I think the headphones might help if you have any nearby.
I do not. I don't have any earbuds nearby.
Wouldn't be a stream without any kind of technical difficulties.
Right?
It happens. It is what it is. But we could, if you want, we could try send you that link through American Scout if you want to try that real quickly.
I'll see when it's ready. I'll just have to leave the stream for a second. I know you guys will miss me. It's fine. It won't be super
It's okay.
Okay, I'll take you off and I'll send you the link to the different account, and then we'll bring you back on and see if it works.
Anyway, yeah, we are 100% professional
Vince,
here.
do you want to go over the next arena?
Yeah,
show
I got this.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, tech support is currently driving from Ohio to Michigan right now, so she's in the comments as well.
It's all on us, Spence, because Katie's gone and Tweety's
We don't know what we're doing. Like, Tweety's gone, Katie's in another state. Like, it's a mess. My skeleton fell down. Like, we're having all sorts of issues. Anyway, so we're going to move on to, I believe it was Omaha, Nebraska, is another arena show that happened this weekend at the CHI Health Center. Event number 1, racing, goes to Tyler Meninga and Gravedigger. Skills goes to Tyler Meninga and Gravedigger. Donut goes, man, I'm seeing a pattern this weekend.
Was it Tyler Meninga?
Yep, Tyler Meninga swept everything for the first event. Racing, skills, donuts, freestyle, and overall all went to Tyler Meninga. Good Lord have mercy.
Look at these drivers just sweep the weekend. Like,
I know, it's like, here's the thing, like, we talk about like how Monster Jam needs to change it up. It's like, if you literally keep it the same, it just becomes, there's no challenge to the drivers. Like, you have that one driver that masters one track and it's over. End of story. So there's no challenge. It's like there's no hope for the other drivers. Not to mention, you could obviously put the whole, well, it's Gravedigger and, it's also Nebraska. They don't get other monster trucks out there in Nebraska. But anyway, Moving on to, is it really another sweep for Tyler Maniga? Nope. Okay, so there's a little bit of hope.
Everything but one, I believe.
So Tyler Maniga swept every event except for donuts in Nebraska for event number 2. The donut win went to Brianna Mahan and Whiplash. Oh my gosh. Okay, and I believe it was only a 2-event weekend because that's all that there is. So yeah. That's it.
Well, that's all that's posted right now.
Yeah, that's all that's posted right now. So if maybe there might be something posted later on. Who knows? I don't even know. It's Sunday evening, so there might even be another Grand Rapids show going on, or there might even be another
Colton
Nebraska show.
The audio's fixed.
Hey, how about that? Change phones, put some Bluetooth earbuds in. What do you know? Technology's strange. I hate it.
You sound like this.
Like
you sound like you're speaking
Really?
to a megaphone cup and nobody can understand a goddamn word that you are saying right now in my stream.
I don't
Please
understand.
Go forward.
Like when we were talking earlier, it sounded fine, and then we went live, and it all went bad.
Oh my goodness. Sounds like I'm talking through sounds like I'm talking like this.
Yeah. Is your part-time job working the drive-thru at a local McDonald's? That's just what it sounds like right now, man.
So let me,
look at that. We lost him.
Okay, well, when he figured out, we'll bring him back on.
This is great. Anyway, so should we move on to El Paso?
Yes, let's go over El Paso.
So,
let's see if the audio is working now.
Are we good now?
I have no idea. Are we?
You sound better. Just keep talking.
All right. If we're good, then hallelujah, because I think I've done everything I can try and do.
This isn't bad.
It's not that the audio is great. The camera quality is not so much. So, but you know what?
Both. It's one or the other.
Yep. Throttle Out show sponsored by Technical Difficulties. Yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. Oh my gosh.
We can live with audio and all that, but visual, it is what it is. Are we going for that?
Yeah, let's just go with what we have now.
It's totally
fine. I promise I'll try and get I've been meaning to get a professional camera ever since I did Scott Douglas's podcast. I was like, I got on there right after Matt Isbell and Zane got off there, and I was like, I need Matt's setup. That's super fancy. And I haven't had time.
You're fine. It's all right. You'll get there eventually. Well, anyway, we're just going to go over the El Paso weekend because the team that we root for, Team Throttle Monster, had all 4 of their trucks out there representing Throttle Out show in El Paso, Texas.
And Too Tall's first big stadium Monster Jam show. And he
in a brand new body too. That new Rockwell red in that Raptor body. Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
I saw that. That is a gorgeous body, and I'm so happy for Too Tall. I've been running for Too Tall or with Too Tall here and there a little while. For 5'1", he can wheel a big old truck.
Oh yeah, 100%. I thought it was funny because we shared a video. It was on Team Throttle Monster's page, but it looked like Christensen was actually holding onto Too Tall like a child while wearing one of our shirts. Oh, it was interesting to say the least. However, I gotta say probably one of the biggest news and a real big shock to a lot of people because Colton, when you're out of a seat for a truck for a while, you got some rust to kind of kick off and try to get the bugs figured out in order to kind of get back to your driving style. Being his second event back in a Monster Jam, Camden Murphy won both racing elements both days. I mean, literally his second show coming back and getting back into the seat, and he's winning racing.
It was the same lineup both days as well. It was Adam and Camden in the finals both days.
I mean, that talk about making a statement, honestly, is just coming back. It's like, you know what? Yeah, he was running around in NASCAR. Yeah, he was running the circle track thing for a while, but coming back and like, you know what? I'm back. Now there's some more competition within the company that's like, it's not just an Anderson. It's not just Mintz. It's not just like these big named, company drivers. Now we got Camden back, and obviously he's not afraid to let loose. I mean, he showed that in racing. So event number 1 obviously goes to Camden in racing. Skills event goes to Adam Anderson along with freestyle. Adam win the overall. But I think it says a lot more when it comes to racing than it does in skills in freestyle, because anybody could kind of go out there and put a freestyle destroy truck, especially with company drivers. Camden has such a unique driving style. I'd almost compare it to Ryan Anderson in a sense, to where he's just balls to the wall, flat footed everywhere you go. But he seems
absolutely.
a lot more.
I've been saying this. I remember Camden coming in as a new driver and watching him and seeing what all he does outside of the Monster Jam circuit. I think he's one of the most versatile drivers in the industry right now. He could hop in, from what I've seen, you could put him in anything and he will go out and he will make it look really good.
Without a doubt. Now, do you think you could put him in American Scout and wheel the truck like he does Bakugan Dragonoid?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if it'd look as well, I don't know. It can't get much more tore up, but I don't think it'd come back looking as pretty. But, they're just parts. They make them every day, right? That's what they always say.
Oh, all you got to do is just put an orange pylon on the hood of the truck and call it a day, and he'll be setting ready to
right,
go.
Exactly. I got a 4-link bar. I mean, everyone else, or mostly everyone else, runs the just regular DOM tubing as their 4-link bars. We run solid, super thick aluminum, and I got one out here that is boomeranged at almost a 90.
Okay, we'll get back to that in a little bit. Just I've never heard anybody using aluminum for a. That just makes sense.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. You'd be surprised, man. People always ask us how we don't break them, and we've only had one bend in 5 years, and you've seen how hard I run this truck.
Yeah, I've seen you drive your truck quite a bit. But anyway, we're gonna get a little off schedule a little bit here. So anyway, racing second day went to Camden Murphy, and then I was kind of talking about this briefly, but seeing Armando Castro coming into stadiums. And we know when it comes to two-wheel skill, consistency is key. And Armando Castro comes out with a skills win for day 2 in El Paso. So huge congrats to him to really getting used to the stadium feel in Monster Jam. So really hoping that a lot of big things are going to be happening in his future, because I'd like to see Armando be up there with racing elements as well, not just the skills and freestyle aspect. Mm-hmm. So freestyle win, which is kind of a surprise, which I'm not saying is bad, but Cynthia Gauthier wins in Monster Mutt Galaxy in freestyle day 2. And honestly, we were talking about the Glendale show last weekend. It's a good thing she finally gets a breath of fresh air, and she's actually pulling a win, because Glendale was not her weekend.
It was not her weekend, unfortunately. Didn't she she rolled in racing and then broke early in skills, and then do you remember what happened in freestyle? I feel like she didn't.
I'm not 100% sure. I know it's been some backflips and some others. It's just a typical Monster Jam freestyle. Nothing too crazy, which is it's honestly just getting kind of repetitive and boring at this point. No offense. I gotta say my biggest. So I mean, obviously, huge congrats to all the drivers that went out, and Armando getting a win, Camden Murphy getting both racing wins. But I gotta say, after seeing in Glendale, you kind of got your hopes up a little bit, because it's finally cool, a new track design, something different to look forward to, and then we go to El Paso and it's just Chicago style. And nothing really changed.
Maybe they saw that the track in Glendale didn't work out like they wanted it to. So they're just going back to what they know.
I feel like they could make just some minor modifications and it would work. Because I feel like if you just try it once and it's oh, nope, doesn't work. Well, it's well, where could it be improved? Because we all talked about it, not just here on our show, but I've heard a couple people outside. It's all the ramps were the same height. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing really to leave any kind of room for any kind of big air unless you're doing a backflip.
Well, they did add Glendale to Stadium Tour Yellow for next year. Right. So maybe that means that track is going to be used on that Stadium Tour next year.
So that is Stadium Tour Yellow?
Yeah.
That's Stadium Tour Yellow. And that is typically, is Todd LeDuc on Stadium Tour Yellow? I do not know.
I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Yeah, because I know Todd made a comment a while ago when everyone got their schedule saying that Monster Energy will not have a hometown show in California, but Todd's also from Arizona, which, speaking of Monster Energy, Cody Socia posted this today, but apparently it is the 10-year anniversary as of today that marks the anniversary between the partnership with Monster Jam and Monster Energy drinks. So but we still don't see anything official on the Monster Jam website yet. So
did you read Cody's caption as well with that post?
I skimmed through it.
Well, he basically said some things are still in the works for next year. So there's nothing official that he's going to be with Monster Jam next year. They're still working out stuff. That.
And I hope he does get back in, whether it's the seat of Monster Energy, which I think that'd be really cool, or whatever truck. I met Cody for the first time last year, and I mean, he's a hell of a guy. He's awesome. He's one of the rare breeds in the company seat where he can work on the truck. He can do everything. He can do everything from working on it. He can change out anything like that, drive the rig, anything you need him to do. You don't see that a lot anymore.
You're absolutely right, but I feel like that is like a formula to create the perfect driver. I don't mean, and okay, I shouldn't say perfect, but because nobody's perfect by no means, but I mean, take somebody like, Harley's dad here, where he's been in monster trucks and he's been in the seat for a while, to where if he feels like something's wrong with the truck, he can kind of diagnose it from in the cab and understand what's going on, rather than you have, Betty Boop with 1,000 some odd followers on Instagram. It's like, yeah, something's happening. I don't know. I'm going to go to my hotel now. See ya. Bye.
Yep, absolutely. And like going back to the whole, how many of these drivers could go do a county fair show?
None. I would love.
It's the same deal.
I would love to see some of these drivers hit a car.
Or I shouldn't say how many of them, because something as simple as an axle shaft.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that pop, and you can hear it anywhere in the cab. I've broke almost 30 of them to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
It's being able to know your truck and be able to understand where things go, why things go where they go, and understand how things break is one of the best things that makes a great driver. And if someone comes into the sport and they're just not willing to learn it, they're just lazy is really the only term to use. That is a snowball into, oh, hey, we just did 10 grand, 20 grand worth of damage in one jump. Oh, well, I'm going to go hop on the plane, go home.
Yeah. I absolutely hate that, because one person that is not like that we've been praising enough as it is Camden Murphy, because I remember a few times staying after a show to fix his truck, and he may not basically know what's going on with the truck, but it was kind of the circumstance where he just kind of stood and held the flashlight while Daddy was working on the truck, but he stayed and like volunteered and was trying to learn, and a lot of the crew guys respect that.
That's how you learn. And my dad always says this: there ain't but one way to learn, and that's getting your hands dirty and doing it.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Because when I first got involved in monster trucks, all I knew how to do, my very first show that I helped out with monster trucks was actually at the Lima 4-Wheel Jamboree with Denver Acton Camp and Venom, and all I knew how to do was just wipe down the truck and tire on and off, and that was it. When I first went out to Monster Jam and worked for them, I've only seen someone tear apart an axle once, and that was when Cheech was still with DCT Power Sports, and I remember going to a local fairground show, and I didn't know what was going on. I was essentially the tool bitch, so I was just kind of like handing tools what people needed, but I was watching, and you learn, and you kind of eventually grasp the concept of how these trucks work with their inner workings. But when you have a company that their sole purpose is they just want people who are just a face to the company that just looks good for TV, looks good for billboards, talks good on interviews, but can't drive worth a damn, you're going to have issues.
Oh, absolutely. And that's, you can have, it's like a triangle, you can have, you can have looks, you can have Instagram followers on one corner, but you gotta get that perfect trifecta and have one that can do it all. And no one, there's a couple folks that can do it all, but there ain't a lot of them out there.
No, because unfortunately the ones that can do it all, I remember when I was first starting out down there at Monster Jam, they're trying to incorporate like a 40 rule, where if you're over the age of 40, they're trying to push you out of the seat, or basically put you on, they call it the retirement tour, but which was essentially all the international stuff. Yeah, all the overseas tour.
That was the, hey, still in it, but
not really.
You'll get a letter. You'll get your letter.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like, growing up watching some of those guys, it's like, man, I'd love to be on the international tour because I could learn a lot from these guys. You know, people like BJ, Alex Blackwell, and Chucky Pauken, all these guys that grew up in the industry and know how to work on their trucks, rather than, like I said, working with Betty Boop, where, she just gets in, destroys the truck, and leaves, and you don't see her till the next show.
It definitely is a double-edged sword, and that's the worst part about it. With the international tour that we've seen in the past, it was, these guys are unfortunately on their way out with this group, but it'd be great to learn from them.
Yeah,
exactly. And now we're seeing a lot of Monster Jam technicians actually leaving because, it's just too much for them. I mean, these guys have been really pushed their limits, putting on the amount of shows that they can, trying to...
Some have been working like every single weekend since Monster Jam has come back from quarantine or COVID or whatever.
Yeah, no kind of like pay raise, no kind of incentive. And you hear like, oh, if you get sick or something while you're out, when you somehow get COVID, guess what? You have to quarantine, you don't get pay. And it's just like, it's just not worth it. It's like, I unfortunately was one of those guys that fell for the whole, what you lack in pay, you make up for in experience. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad I got the experience I did, but I could not imagine the amount of work that these guys were under, and there's no amount of experience that's worth that.
Like, if correct me if I'm wrong, but this may have been 2 years ago. It was sometime within the last couple years. I want to say it was Meninga. I know it happened to Tom, but they motor swap, and I think it was 36 minutes.
Yep.
Like, could you imagine when they changed a motor in Mensa's truck during racing and intermission, someone got an aerial photo of it, and it looked like a Snap-on truck exploded. It was like a 30 by 30 foot area of tools.
Yep.
And that's the kind of stress that you can sit there and say all you want. Oh, it can't be that bad. I can change a motor. But when you've got 15 guys in a chassis gets tight, it's a lot of pressure. It is.
See, every single show I've gone to, because with BKT and the ride truck, you weren't with like one specific tour. Like you kind of were with every single stadium tour that was coming through whatever area you were at. Every time I ran into Tom, I always had to help do an engine swap. And I know exactly what you mean. It is very tight getting in there to help. And I'm a big dude. I take up a lot of space, and especially being new to the company. So my job was I ran the loader to help pull the engine out of the truck. That was my job.
You should try working on this turd. I mean,
honestly, I'd love to, because for the long, and my wife is in the chat, she knows I've had this obsession for the longest time with mini monster trucks, because honestly, I feel like they are like perfect for the evolution of the sport, because you have so many people. I could vouch for so many people in the comments right now that would love to own a monster truck, but they don't have a giant pole barn that has like the space or capability of housing a full-size truck, nor do they have the financial funds in order to basically, you have a rig, you have a hauler,
people don't realize how much this costs. Dude, I couldn't tell you how many shows we've done where people will come up asking us questions about it, and they'll be serious about, hey, how much, if you don't mind us asking, how much does it cost to get into this? And we tell them, if you were to build one of these trucks brand spanking new right out of Alan Pizzo's shop, it'd be $75,000. And they're like, my goodness, I could build that for $30,000. No, you couldn't.
If you never built a monster truck or a mega truck or anything before, no, you can't.
Yep, you can, but
will it be safe?
It probably won't. It probably won't work all that well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alan has. He's been around the block, I think, once or twice.
It's Pizzo. I think he's been around a while.
37 years. So.
Yeah, honestly, I applaud Alan. I would love to have Alan come on this show, to be completely honest, because I could talk for hours to Alan, because he was one of those guys.
He's like our Mike Wine,
Even better. I would love to talk to Alan Pizzo because he was, I mean, just one of those heroes growing up for me because I didn't know for the longest time that he was out of Michigan before he eventually moved out to Tennessee. But seeing that big black cat anytime you go to a show, I mean, he was kind of like one of those underdogs because around the early 90s, 2000s, it was always like, you know, you can't wait to see Gravedigger. And then eventually Goldberg kind of came around. You never want to sleep on Pizzo. You never want to sleep on Pizzo.
No, you don't. I remember hearing when we did that Canfield show. Yep, Mike Comerford right there. Pizzo gets better with it. Well, some would say that. Dude, I remember people were like, "Oh, Alan's going to be at that show," and his stuff kind of wore out. No, it ain't. He still runs that Hemi just as hard as he did 20 years ago.
See, I love that. I remember at the Jackson County Fair before they recently brought it back, and this is my hometown show. What they would do at like intermission between like monster trucks, they would literally have people leave the stands, and they would have a pretty truck competition and an ugly truck competition, and it was all based upon like crowd applause and everything. There was like a 1940, 50 something like Dodge Power Wagon that was like out of the military, and it was painted plum crazy purple. I swear you saw Alan Pizzo like followed the guy off the track because I feel like he was gonna go buy it.
Yep, that's Pizzo. Actually, I think he just told us he found him a new Hemi Jeep, one of the 392 Hemi Jeeps. He's getting it in. He's all about the neon colors. I think he's either gonna get it in the plum purple, or he's gonna get it in the lime neon green, or the orange, or the red, or something.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome, actually. Yeah, I mean, I love that. But anyway, kind of backtracking a little bit with the mini monsters, it just seems like I hate seeing it always being treated as like a side act because it's really not. You guys can literally put on almost the same caliber show as a full size. It's just, you know, you guys need like
and we've done shows where I probably shouldn't have ran as hard as I did, but
hey, you live in
fans come up afterwards and say, you know, you put on, we think you put on a better show than the big truck. And that's what I think the great thing about it, for anyone that wants to get into this crazy sport of monster trucks, why I think the minis are such a good idea,
right?
Is especially for kids. And when I say kids, I mean like 8 to 13, 8 years old, whatever, is with the minis, if it's a little kid, there's no expectation.
Mm-hmm.
You see these monster trucks, and I mean, how many shows have you been to where are you going to go out there and destroy it like they do on TV? You're going to wad your stuff up? It's like, no, we got to be like across the country in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, that's with this, there's really no expectation. You know, and then on the other hand, you never know what you're going to get. And, you know, I can say how many shows I've done and people have come up and go, oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. And most of the time it's after a run where I go, I wasn't expecting that either. That kind of hurt.
Honestly, man, after the Canfield show, I saw you took a good couple of licks and I'm like, okay, he's got to be done. Nope. He's going right back to the car stack.
Nope. Dude, that Canfield show, you had the two bus race lanes, and then you had that big jump in the middle.
Yeah.
Me, Joey, and Kyle were all talking about cross-threading the middle jump and landing on the backside of the bus.
You should have done it.
And I'm so mad I didn't try it.
Should have done it, man. Oh man, I thought it was
good, man. You know.
I gotta say though, you kind of cheaply beat Pito though, or Pizzo. Sorry.
That's what I always say. I beat
Pito.
I am proud to say I beat a Hall of Famer, long-time, just general badass, Alan Pizzo. We'll just not mention the fact it was a buy run.
That he did not come to the starting line. You just got.
Yep, it was a buy run, but we still got him.
Yeah, because there were 3 mini monsters that were there. You had American Scout, I basically call it the American Scout clone with a purple chassis because it literally has the red, white, blue paint wrap on it and everything.
And that's
we were talking
the original body from when he had it at SEMA.
That's so cool. And then who runs the other truck that you see, the green and yellow?
That's
what is that?
Son, Brandon, that runs that King Cobra truck.
No kidding. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So actually, fun fact about Paso's Mini, it is actually getting a new body because apparently somewhere between Canfield and Tennessee, it flew off.
Oh.
Like, oh, all right, cool.
Now, the bodies, yeah, no kidding. Because the bodies you guys use, those are essentially trophy cart bodies, right? From Fiberworks?
Yeah, they're what? I mean, they're the same bodies Bigfoot's running, or Bigfoot, or really a lot of people. They're just a general racer body, and they're plentiful. They're cheap, you know. It's. We actually wanted to put an old bobtail Bronco body on this truck.
Oh, you should have.
The company we talked to, they were going to sell us the tub for it and everything, like a full Bronco body, and they wanted like $3,500 for it. And we're like, it's going to get rolled in like a month. No.
At that point, you might as well just get the mold and everything, so you just make more yourself.
Exactly. I also thought about putting a Scout body, like an old International Scout body on this, but they want like $7,000 for a body, and I'm like, no.
You need to talk to Jeff Cook over there at the Hall of Fame to help you front that cost for that one.
Yeah, I kind of thought about that one.
Because, he's got that old Hot Rod Harry truck. Good Lord. Anyway.
Well, before we get too carried away about the mini monsters, you want to go over a couple independent shows that happened this weekend, Spen?
Oh, yeah. I guess we did have stuff other than Monster Jam happen, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, where do you want to start?
Well, we kind of mentioned Bigfoot, so we can go to Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live that happened in Charlottesville, Virginia this weekend. We got a few clips sent over from Four Wheeler Jock today at the Sunday show.
It's so nice to see crush cars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Oh, I thought he was going to go over. So who is this all still let's see, you obviously got Team Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And who else is running this? Is this still Hoffman? And
I believe so.
Who's running Demo Derby in V8 Bomber?
I think those are Christensen's trucks. Now, I could be wrong.
Huh.
Now, that would make sense because I swear I saw him in Pit Party. Christensen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Yeah, honestly, this looks like an absolutely fun show. Oh, wow. Holman.
Oh, that's
Thank
Holman?
you.
Holman.
Yeah. I don't know why I said Hoffman. Yeah, Andy Hoffman and War Wagon was there. God, I'm off. Oh man, it has been a hell of a weekend. David Reif, what's going on? Nice to see you joining. Nate Bay.
Yep. Yeah. Nate Bay's right on that one. Yeah, it was Josh and Ryan that were running those trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So what do you think about the Hot Wheels tour, Colton? Like, what do you honestly think?
I think it's awesome. It's something that we're used to. Well, one, I think everyone's glad to see the crush cars back. Or regularly see crush cars.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a cool change of pace because I think the fans are still getting that awesome experience that they all want. They're not, and these guys aren't wadding their trucks up. And it's a good fun show. And like I said, these guys aren't tearing a lot of stuff up. It's and they're also not doing.
Well, you say that, but Bigfoot had a roll.
Oh no!
I did see that.
Unfortunately, that's a big no-no in the Bigfoot world that you don't roll over their truck and mess up that body. A big no-no with Bigfoot and with Hot Wheels. You don't roll over trucks at one of those shows.
Huh. That's kind of interesting.
Stuff happens,
because
though. There's when you're in the air, you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants. The only control you have is tilting the truck upwards and or tilting the truck by hitting the brakes. That's about all you got.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say though, rolling over and having that cage hit concrete, that cannot feel good.
No.
Oh no, it's horrible.
Have you rolled in concrete before?
Dirt will give. It'll scratch. I've got scratches on my chassis from dirt hitting. Concrete does not forgive.
Yeah, I'd imagine, like, I mean, we're glad Rebecca's safe, and you could always put a new body, you could always, a little bit of fiberglass. I can't imagine that the body is completely tore up, but that's really strange that they're like, oh yeah, you cannot roll over a truck at all in Hot Wheels.
Basically at a Hot Wheels show, it's got to look pretty, it's got to look clean. They don't want any damage, because I think that's what you expect going to a Monster Jam show, is all damage. So Hot Wheels wants to be the opposite of that.
Well, right, you're absolutely right.
Which Hot Wheels is extremely professional. And I kind of applaud them for that. Not like telling these guys like, hey, put on a good show. Please don't roll over. Because no one wants to roll over intentional, or no one really wants to roll over at all, especially on concrete. But like I said, it's the nature of the beast. Stuff happens. It took me 4 years to roll this truck over, so
4 years.
4 years, that's a long time not to roll a truck.
4 years, and it's been rolled 4 times in 3 years.
I don't think I got the chance to see you roll it. There was a few times I thought you were going over. Some way, somehow, you're able to pull out of it. I don't know. I think having minis like Colton's truck at the Hot Wheels live shows would help with like the little micro trucks.
The little minis that you like.
There you go. There you go, Hot Wheels. Get a hold of Alan Pizzo and build another 8 of those. So you technically have a 16 truck field. You just have 8 monsters and 8 minis.
Absolutely. I would love to see Hot Wheels get into doing not just the arenas. I'd like to see them go out and take on bigger venues and bring dirt,
like stadiums or
places. Do what?
Like a stadium, or you mean like going to like outdoor shows?
Outdoor stadium, whatever, like the Coin, Illinois is a great example. And kind of wherever. Right now, it's such a finicky market because everywhere is doing a show, and like trucks are hard to get right now and all that. The market is kind of a mess right now, but it's an organized mess in a way, if that makes any sense.
Even though it's a mess, though, it's good for the industry because it's like there's need for monster trucks, and this is a huge. This is great.
When we did the Indianapolis 4-wheel jamboree, Kevin King was helping them get trucks, and he made everyone made every phone call we could do to get trucks there, and we made it happen. We had 3 trucks Friday, 4 trucks Saturday, Sunday.
Jeez.
Which I also gotta, if Jerry Beck or Chandler West are listening, once again, thanks for letting me drive quad at Jamboree. That was awesome. And an hour or 2 before Chandler offered me the seat, I was talking with someone saying I would love to drive Quad Chaos one time. So,
hey, it happened though. I mean, you didn't roll it, and it seems like you weld it pretty good. So, I mean, what did you honestly
think? That truck
think?
Went back in the trailer in one piece. Didn't have to work on it. It was a good night. And
that's a win. If it goes back in the trailer in one piece, that's a win.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if you come off the track with a trophy or not. As long as that truck comes out of the trailer and drives back in one piece, you're golden. I'm sure Chandler was happy about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because it was just him.
Oh, it was just Chandler that weekend?
Yeah, Jerry was so busy with the excavating business. So when Chandler asked me, he kind of had that look in his eyes like, please say yes.
Please, I can't do this by myself. Oh, man. Yeah, honestly, the most times I ever got to see you actually, Colton Drive, is actually at the 4-wheel jamborees. And I think the first time I ever got to meet you this might have been 2015 or 2016, because I remember seeing the Rislone Defender and you both kind of like somewhat parked next to each other, and this was in Indianapolis.
Forever ago. I'll be honest with you, I would, if I had an exact event like location, I might remember it.
Indianapolis, Indiana, the Indianapolis Fairgrounds. Anyway,
Oh, maybe
Probably.
not.
I've been hit in the head a lot since then.
He's done a lot of shows, Spence. Give him the benefit of the doubt.
The really weird part about that event, because they were promoting that there were going to be mini monster trucks there, and I saw Colton's truck, and I don't think Colton's truck really did a run because there's this other group of mini monsters. It wasn't Kid KJ. It was some other guy that had like...
Okay. So... No, we did. I know exactly what you're talking about. So that was at the Jamboree.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing. So when you mention Indianapolis, I always tell this to people. Indianapolis is such a vague statement because it's like a ridiculous county radius of Indianapolis. So that was the little monsters, which are the ones that
they're like the Honda Civics engines, basically.
Yeah. Those are the ones that are on the Renegade Tour now.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had a display there for a sponsor, and it was the same sponsor that Rizlone was there for.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't run your truck, which was really odd. Like I don't remember.
No, and also I think at the time we were having RII issues, so we had our RII sent up to Michigan, and it's just. Especially with the Jamboree being such a huge deal, safety is a huge thing. So we just didn't want to run with no RII.
Fair enough. Anyway, Harley, I know we talked about Hot Wheels. Was there other shows that we should probably discuss?
Yes, there was the Allstar Monster Truck Tour show in Owensboro that we had Zach Gardner and Wildside, Quad Chaos, Dirt Crew, and Little John Zim and Twisted Addiction there as well.
That's a stacked lineup. Oh man! And this is an all-star show.
This Armstrong announced.
Oh, I heard about that. Army Armstrong was in the booth announcing. Oh, that's so
Army
cool.
Armstrong did my first show. My first show ever was in Evansville with this truck. And it was a show Paso delivered it to, and Army announced it. And I didn't realize at the time how cool that was, but I found out pretty shortly afterwards.
That's so cool. So my question is, who won racing? Because whenever it's these two, he probably cheated.
Zach won racing, and then Little John Zim came back and won freestyle. So it's always between those two.
Oh yeah, and they're going to be on in an arena event series next year.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's going to be one of those two that wins next year. I'd put money on it that it's going to be one of the Gardner trucks that win. Oh man. So it seems like it's a pretty good weekend. Who was all driving? My Quad Chaos and Dirt Crew. That's what I want to know. Was there a boy Chandler?
Michael Hicks, I think, was driving Quad, and Jerry was driving Dirt.
Okay. Still, I mean, even though it doesn't seem like there's much here on the track, I mean, having a stacked lineup like this, these guys are able to do literally anything. Actually, what's on the back of Terminal Velocity there?
What do you mean?
I thought for a second, that was one of our flags. I'm like, they don't have one of our flags. I thought the same thing
too, and I'm like, they don't have one of our flags. Where did they get that? But it's not one of our flags.
They should. Hey, Gardner, if you guys want some flags, get a hold of us, and we'll set something up.
You can send a couple to me. Garner shop's 10 minutes from my house.
So if we were to give you a flag, do we have to give you like the little window flag for your mini monster truck?
Sure. I'll fly whatever. My wheelie bar is double purpose as a flag stand.
Oh, there you go. I mean, we love it when we see our flags dragged through the dirt.
Twisted Addiction. What happens to his truck? If you can guess what happens.
It's Twisted Addiction. I mean, what? Was that the fuels?
Yep,
oh no!
Oh
no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
That ended his run short, unfortunately.
Never forget the fuel cap on your fuel cell.
No
one will ever let you live it down. I promise you.
Just ask Tweety. I'm sure he's done it.
I've seen a truck go over at a show where they forgot to put the fuel cap on, and it was an Escalade body. And it was
that's terrible. That is not good. Yeah, because after Tweety actually left Monster Jam, there's another Austin that took over his position, and his nickname was Gas Cap or Fuel Cap because there was literally a show where Todd went out, did one hit in freestyle, and fuel went everywhere, and he was done for the night.
Oh,
yeah.
That poor kid. He's never gonna live that down.
Nope. Nope, probably not still to this day. I guarantee if anybody runs into him, it's like, hey, fuel cap. But it's like, sorry. Takes one time. That's it. Anyway, so All-Star. What else do we got?
We got a huge show at Monster Truck Throwdown this weekend as well that looked like it was pretty fun to be at. I'm kind of jealous I didn't go. I believe
Where was
it was
this?
in Benson, North Carolina.
There's Jamie Gardner. Gosh.
How many trucks were there at that one? I think 12, if I'm not mistaken.
2.
Wait, would you count Kraken as half? Look at the body. My God.
Don't even get me started on Kraken's body. It did not last long. Let's just say that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the lineup here. I mean, you got the Pags, you got the Kohlers, you got Gardners.
Total.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm surprised that the stands aren't stacked more than it should be. 10 trucks. Oh my gosh.
Nick went out and won Best Trick, and he won Freestyle the first night.
Oh, there goes the hood.
John Gordon won Freestyle. I'm not sure who won Best Trick on the second show.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder how many zip ties are in that body or in that Kraken body.
A lot.
I don't know. I was going to say, Harley, you want to care to elaborate on that a little bit since you guys used to work for the Pags?
Well, I mean, basically we just try and piece that body back together as much as we can, and then it usually just all comes off next show. So
just like this.
Yep.
I wonder.
The fans love it. The crowd loves it when they just see body pieces just fly off the truck.
Oh yeah, it's great. They love it. We hate it. It's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then you got all the fiberglass guys that are just like, hey, so what are you going to do with that piece of the truck? Put it back together.
Yep. It never fails. Like,
then the second show was pretty muddy up there.
So it was a mud fest.
For the second show.
So, Colton, as a driver, do you enjoy mud shows or no?
Oh, I hate mud shows. Oh my God. Especially with this truck because I run full cleat tractor tires. Dude, oh my goodness. I hate mud shows. You know, there's a lot of things I'd rather do than a mud show. I mean, I'd rather it be 110 degrees in the desert than do a bad mud show.
Nah, I'm good. I've done the All-Star show for Monster Jam. I'd rather not. I would rather be in a blizzard or the mud and rain than be in the middle of a desert and it's just being down hot.
I'd rather, take on the heat than the cold. Not a cold person.
I mean,
am I.
I guess the only thing I don't care about mud shows, especially when I was in Anaheim, was just staying up till 4:00 in the morning washing the trucks.
Yep.
And then having to do it the next day.
The problem with mud shows is that for some reason with this truck, something always seemed to happen in a mud show. We did a mud show.
Got some wiring
months ago. I went to go use my rear steer, and the switch literally came apart in my hand.
Oh
my gosh!
So I'm trying to do a mud show, 4-wheel drive, no rear steer. So I found out I could drift this thing like Ken Block does that Mustang, that Unicorn. I did find that out. I could unicorn this monster truck.
I cannot get over how much more of this poor body of Kraken just keeps falling apart. This is insane.
It just comes in like pieces, little tiny pieces.
It won't stop. He won't stop.
Oh my goodness.
But the fans love it,
so that's why they just kind of like Doug Charles's Wild thing, where when it cracked, it kind of caved in. You just pop it back out.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, this Nick Davis cracking. That looked like it hurt. That looked like it stung a little bit.
So.
Yeah, gosh, Bad Company is one of those trucks you hate to see get dirty. It's such a beautiful looking truck. Oh my gosh! So, was it only Jaguar, or did he have a second truck there with him that weekend?
I'm not too sure on that because I just saw Jaguar's truck. That was it.
Huh. Interesting. So after that, was there anything else?
Yes. You remember Lee Plato had his new truck Scattered that was going to debut this weekend at the
That's right. How'd he do?
So Lee Plato got to drive his monster truck for the very first time at a show this weekend in California.
Sweet.
So how bad did his son beat him?
Unfortunately, Skull Crusher blew a motor. So,
Oh no!
yeah.
Oh.
9,000
some older.
RPM will do that to a big block.
Oh yeah. I gotta say, I gotta give him props. That hauler even looks, spot on. Is that Devin Jones' other?
That's the Lee Plato's third truck, American made, that also made a debut this weekend as well.
Wasn't that? No, that's not Devin Jones. No, it's like War Eagle or something like that. I believe it's Devin Jones' other
Devin
identity.
Jones is War Eagle.
Okay.
So this is Lee Plato and Scattered, his first time on a track, and he doesn't do too bad. He does pretty good.
No, honestly, and he's
really
immediately
good.
he is immediately going to cross thread. I mean, nobody that's like new to a seat's like, yeah, I'm just gonna hit the jumps a little bit here and there. No, he's immediately going up for cross threading. So I mean, that's awesome. That's really awesome that he's able to air it out. And honestly, it looked like it was a pretty decently stacked show. So honestly, I mean, do we have any results other than? Oh, wait a minute. Is this the same show that David Tucker finally came back?
Yep, you are right, Spence.
So for those that don't know, we kind of talked about this briefly a couple weeks ago. David Tucker in the T-Max truck had an accident to where his hauler and everything kind of rolled on the side of the road. And he immediately put on Facebook that he was going to keep back in the seat. So I believe this is the show that he actually was able to get back in and drive his truck again, right?
Yeah.
I don't see it on the track.
In a minute after this one. It should pop up.
Oh man, still, it's so cool seeing. I'm blown away how many West Coast trucks there are actually out there. Because being from the Midwest, it seems like you go to one county or another. There he is. Oh, that's so nice to see. Honestly, I was scared for him for a while, seeing how bad that accident was. Hold up, Beardo. Yeah.
Literally put everything back together in a month, which is absolutely insane.
Super happy to say. Look at that push bar, though. My gosh.
That right there, that's a stoppy bar.
Do not cut him off at all. It's such a unique looking truck, but man, he drives that thing so well.
I'm so glad being a all independent suspension like that. That's something that, to my knowledge, has not been done, or it probably has been done. I don't want anyone in the comments going off on me like,
the only truck I know of that has done anything relatively close to that was a Cyborg truck, and it was only rear-wheel drive, and it had the independent front suspension. Other than that, I think he's the first to ever do a full independent suspension monster truck.
Dude, I watched that truck, and in my mind, I'm watching it, and it, some hits, it might look a little stiff, but you can tell a lot on a driver's comfort with his truck, with his or her truck, and the shocks and all that, just based on how they're launching it. And just looking at the way he's launching that truck, I think he's got it pretty dialed in. I'm really glad to see it taking a step out of the norm and making it work.
Honestly, I wish Traxxas would actually sponsor this man, because it's honestly a giant Traxxas T-Max. With the way the suspension, everything works. It literally is. I gotta say though, the body looks a little small. Now that I'm looking at it from this angle, the body looks a little small. I'm not sure why that is though. But still, regardless, it's
push bar on the front.
It may have to do with the giant push bar. I don't know. He might need to put. It might be throwing you off.
Yeah,
it's got to be. But still, it's so cool to see that he's able to get back into it and do what he does best. So, all right. Well, anything else?
Well, Spence, you texted me earlier and said that Cheech wanted us to mention something
thank
tonight.
You. Do you have the? Yes, you do. All right. So, Mr. Dan Agosh with Hall Brothers is looking for RC competitors for their big open house out there in, I believe it is Champaign, Illinois. So if you have a Pro Mod, Sport Mod, LMT, Retro, whatever, and you want to race out there at Hall Brothers, maybe kick some of the Hall Brothers butt a little bit in the process, get a hold of Cheech. She's going to have more info. Obviously, it says on there $10 per truck, $5 every additional truck. He's looking for drivers. I'm still working my butt off to try and get my truck built. I still have no idea what I'm doing. So it may or may not run, but I do have a couple guys that I plan on coming out to that open house with and just having a blast with those guys. So plus, I haven't seen Cheech in forever, so it'd be nice to kind of catch up a little bit.
Will the monster truck be out, or is it just RC stuff?
I believe it's an all around open house. Now, here's the thing: it's in November, so I think they'd probably have the trucks tired up and have like a display. I don't know if they're gonna have a monster truck running around. It may be the ride truck, but it's November in Illinois, so dress accordingly. You never know,
especially in Illinois.
Exactly. Other than that, yeah, I believe that is just about covers it.
Yeah. That covers it for what I have for tonight. I'm sure there was other independent shows that went on that there's really no footage of out there of it, but that's what we went over tonight.
So, Colton, do you have anything coming up in the near future for you and American Scout? Any upcoming events?
As far as scheduled events go, what's today? So yesterday we did a little touch-a-truck deal, and that was the last scheduled event for the truck.
That's it, huh?
So yeah, that's pretty much all we got left. Now up until November 1st, something could happen. We are planning on going and taking a visit. Anyone in the Fort Wayne area in Indiana, northern Indiana, Full Throttle Monster Trucks is doing a show at the Coliseum. It's their last show for their point series. Come check it out. It's going to be one or two Paso's trucks, the Lethal Threat Stomper that you saw there at Canfield, and Miguez's two trucks, and off the top of my head, I can't remember the other trucks, but it's going to be a good show.
I was going to say Fort Wayne's not that far away from me.
Coliseum's ever had. Do what?
I was going to say Fort Wayne, Indiana isn't that far away from me, so I might have to take a road trip out to check it out then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great event. They've had monster trucks there for a long time. I remember when I was little, I want to say it was Rick Long or Kramer or one of them brought the electric foot, brought the oversized RC truck out to play.
It's so weird. That truck is so weird
because you hear the motors, you hear the tires, and you hear the cars crushing, which it's so weird hearing just a car crush.
It's like going to a scrapyard and you just hear like the car being, compressed under the giant hydraulics. Yep. It's so strange. Don't get me wrong, it's cool. I don't see monster trucks going electric, but I do see something changing eventually with the drivetrain. Something new, something modern.
Electric for the simple fact that we haven't engineered the electric side of it enough to make it reliable. Because you've dealt with this before. I about guarantee electrical gremlins on a truck.
They're the worst. They are the absolute worst.
One electrical gremlin, try thousands of connections that could be wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
And electrical stuff ain't cheap.
Yeah, exactly. So I could see, I would honestly really like to see, because what GM Performance and what Chrysler's doing with like their big power engine families, like you have the Hellcat, the Elephant, and all that, and you have like the LS family. I would really like to see them try and incorporate that in a monster truck. You can see it with minis. I would like to see it in a full size.
I tossed the idea around of one of those Elephant motors, the 1,000 horsepower crate engines, in a mini.
I'm just saying.
And I tossed that idea around for a little bit, but we looked up the price of one. And it's a stupid number for 1,000 horsepower, but it's like
it doesn't have a warranty.
It's in the project vehicles. It's buying a crate engine. You get a warranty. There's not a whole lot to it. It's plug and play, which is nice. But you're spending a lot of money on something you could build for $15,000 probably.
Which is what the LS family's for.
See, and that's another thing is the LS is a lot of people ask us why we didn't go with an LS in this truck. We could have, but we didn't for the simple fact of the electrical side of stuff. They've made them all pretty well bulletproof now, and you can get a lot of horsepower out of a junkyard motor. But I think it also it brings that new style in, but it also shoves a lot of that classic what people want to see out. And also the simple fact that, call us boomers, old, whatever you want to call us. The old school carburetor, if we got a cylinder down, we can pretty quickly know what's going on without plugging a computer in. This truck has a fuel injection system on it, an electronic fuel injection system, but it's a bolt-on plug and play, kind of like the Holly Sniper.
Huh. I mean, I'd like to see it just to see if someone could basically make a mule monster truck solely just for testing purposes. Like if it's an old chassis, just see how well it handles. That's all I want to know.
Well,
I see Cheech is talking
Overkill Racing and Chassis, who I'm actually, for any of you that follow Overkill Racing and Chassis, they got a dummy bomb piggy bank kit. Shameless plug, not sponsored or anything. He built a mini monster truck for a guy overseas that's got a blown LS, I think 7 or 10 in it. I mean, I remember seeing that build. To 1,000 horsepower in a mini.
I saw the build. It looks impressive, but after it was done, it doesn't look like it's capable of taking the hits that your truck can. Like it looks like it's more for like a yard toy,
I think it's a lot
not
more
for competition.
Showpiece than it is a runner. And that's absolutely nothing against anybody. I think it's a pretty sweet build, personally. It does have pretty small nitrogen or coilover shocks on it. I've seen. I do like the fact that they built the cage and everything big enough, and it has adjustable mounts in it to where like almost anybody can drive it. And I'd admit, coming from this side of it, there were spots in it. It was I think just a personal opinion. Everyone's got their own opinions. I think it was a little over-engineered, but other than that, I thought it was neat.
I agree. Now, I just cannot wait to see more and more people make these mini monster trucks, because honestly, I would love to see a minor league monster truck league. Honestly, I'd love to see minis have their own league.
Yeah, there should be like their own series in and of itself.
Like there's some arenas, there's some like small places.
We've been talking about doing something like that for a while. The biggest thing is, and it's like anything else, it's finding the people that are willing to do it.
Yeah.
There's people, it's something crazy to think about. And Austin, like what you said, a lot of it is the initial financial expense. You can't get around that. People don't want to talk about it, but that's part of it. There's people out there that are interested in this, but they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And we always say, we always hear all the time, oh, well, I want to do this, but I think I'll build my own chassis, and I'll just buy some shocks off Amazon. It's like, whoa, no. You can't do that. You can, you can, but when you're in the back of an ambulance being rushed to the hospital because your spine is fused together, you'll be wishing you would have spent the money.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a reason why we have places like we have PEI, we have the metal shop, we have CRD.
We have the metal shop, Overkill Racing Chassis. Those guys have what they have and do what they do for a reason.
Every show row, a soda, and a hot dog. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the enthusiasm some of these guys have. Now, a lot of people when they like look at a monster truck, it's like, oh, it's just a big lifted truck with big tires. I could essentially do the same thing with my mud.
They were a bunch of dumb rednecks that built this out in the woods.
Yeah, there's a lot of science. There's a lot of math that goes into building these machines.
Oh, there's a lot of math. Yeah, absolutely. And over the years, there have been so many things. That's what I love about the evolution of this sport and how early the evolution just took off. Because I mean, you look at some of the crazy stuff those guys did even back in the 80s, back in mid-late 80s, when the sport was just starting to blossom. It's crazy how much stuff has been tried. These guys dumped the money out of their own pocket to try something, and it didn't work, but we learned from that. And because of all the learning we've had to do,
and from guys getting hurt, going borderline bankrupt for the ingenuity of this sport. Now look at what we've got. You know, back in the early '80s when Bob was at the Silverdome, took one to the Silverdome. He went over some cars and 70,000 people went nuts. And now we've got trucks flying almost 50 feet in the air. It's kind of crazy to think that only happened within a 40-year period of time.
Makes you wonder what's next.
I know, right?
Yeah.
What are we going to see in our lifetime with this industry?
It's going to have to be something crazy, because I think this sport, personally speaking, I think there's still plenty of stuff new we can try. At the end of the all independent suspension is one big thing, but I think unless if it's something just absolutely out of this world, mind-blowing different, I think we're kind of nearing the end of the not the ingenuity, but the new idea sort of thing. Now, obviously, there's always going to be someone with the next big new chassis design out there. There's always going to be someone that has the next best shock setup, you know, but those are the little subtle changes. You know, it's going to take something pretty spectacular to make everyone go, okay, how did he do that?
Well, if you guys are tuning in to us and you're interested in the full history of monster trucks and how he got to this point today, be sure to check out Marty Garza's book, The Monster Truck Technology, hardcover, softcover. They are made to order, so you know when you do make your order, expect a wait, but it is absolutely worth the read. There is a ton of information, a ton of stories in there, dating well back to some really, really old technology that is incorporated into these machines and monster trucks. But anyway, Colton, we're kind of over our hour mark, but dude, I want to thank you so much for tuning in and actually coming on the show, man. It was awesome catching up with you.
Thanks for having me. Like we talked in Canfield, the first, we seen each other at Canfield, and it was instantly, when are we gonna do the podcast? I've been come on, I've been waiting on it forever. I see you guys having all this fun. I'm like, I want to join in on that fun, but here I am.
Yeah, you are, man. We love that. We always see your dad's always in the comment section. I don't know if you guys are next to each other when we have our episodes, but
usually,
we always see.
Yeah, usually we are.
Yeah, we always see your old man in the comments. I'm just waiting for Colton to pop in here in the comments as well, but. But honestly, man, it's so awesome to finally have you on. It's seeing how much you've grown in the mini monster, and honestly, man, can't wait to see what you're capable of doing in a full time, not just occasionally every now and then. So nothing but big.
Trust me.
So hopefully you'll be able to carry on the American Scout name into the full size, but we'll see what the future holds for you. All we can hope for is maybe one of those Throttle Out Show stickers ends up somewhere on the sponsor panel of the body, but.
Or maybe a little flag.
I've still got it, and your sticker, I need to put it somewhere on the body because we know which side we're gonna hang up in the barn. Next to, well, actually, since we're ending the podcast, and I'll go on ahead and I'll try and do it. So we've got obviously this body. We've got the original American Scout body, and then we've got that just whatever. We're gonna find a spot to put your sticker on this thin blue line side before we hang it up in the shop, and that'll be its final resting place. Whoever's fortunate enough, this body was actually so mangled we were just gonna put a new body, new wrap on it, but we beeped it up, and whoever's fortunate enough to buy this truck's gonna get a brand spanking new body. They can do whatever they want with it.
Oh shoot, Harley, do we have $60,000 in the budget by chance?
We haven't gotten enough online sales for that yet.
Dang it! All right.
By the way, we still have our Halloween merchandise out until October 31st, and then it's gone after that. So if you want to get some Throttle Out Halloween gear, I'd go over our website and buy that. November
1st, it's gone. Can't get it anymore. So get it while it's on there. All right. Well, Harley, do you want to end this? Do you want me to?
You ended, Spence.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with all of us on the Throttle Out Show and Mr. Colton Kiser. But with that being said, we'll see you guys Wednesday. Remember, when in doubt, throttle out. Peace out. We'll see you guys next time.
Y'all take care. Thanks for having me.